Hi Nancy, I hope you and your family are doing well. So here is my glaze test fire and the results. So I made 4 of my favorite glazes. I'm just naming them A, B, C, and D. So we'll start off with the first glaze, or we can just start off with the first thing. So this is that one sculptural form. Um, the one that's going to be on the wall, hanging like this. Sorry, I'm trying to see, keep this in the screen. And that will also have the drops sort of coming out of its, now I'll call it its mouth. So here it is with the drops kind of like coming out of its mouth. I'm trying to hold it there, and well, I'll put it down. That might be easier to see there. And then the drops that are coming out. Now the real one is, is much bigger than that. But here is that guy with his drops. I'll be making a lot of them coming out of his mouth. Now this is with that foamy glaze, and I think that foamy glaze tends to really, when it's fired flat, it really expands. This one basically expanded all the way onto my kiln shelf and actually ate a couple stilts in the process that actually became encapsulated. I think it was right here, and I broke it out. As you can see, all the kiln wash and everything and how it really expanded. So I can get this to be less expansive. I kind of know the trick to this glaze right now. This is put on really thick, and the glaze is very thick. If it's thinner and waterier, it does not do this as much. I think this might be the glaze of choice for this guy, especially with his teardrops coming out. I really kind of like that look right now. It does obliterate any other texture that you put on, but I think it's kind of interesting. But I did do 3 of them. Here is the same sort of sculpture, but with the glaze that's really just that dry, sandy glaze. This will show texture a little bit more. I really kind of like how it didn't really want to fill in there when I was painting it, and I kind of liked that effect. I don't know how much it will show texture, but, and this one, I believe I can color it a little bit. Oh yeah, I have examples of it colored. However, it won't take any yellow bases. It will take like red. It will only take like really vibrant. Well, it won't take yellow at all. And that one I use is a very vibrant one. But it does take red. And I have an example of where I added some red or deep rose pink to this glaze, which is this guy. He was fired with both this really high shine gloss glaze that I have, and also with that really dry, sandy glaze. So he was fired with both just because I wanted to see maybe perhaps a juxtaposition of both of those glazes together. Kind of a little interesting effect where the two of them met there. So this is like a deep crimson, and I think a deep crimson. I was trying to get to a magenta. Unfortunately, my digital scale decides it's not going to behave and was always turning off in the middle of weighing the mason stains. So here is that tall sculpture that might have those pieces of polymer clay coming out of it. Steal one from over here. So this is with that foamy glaze that I put on thinner, which, as you can tell, it kind of doesn't make as big of bubbles when it's thinner, but it also doesn't, foam out too much. I'd have to do a better job when I paint this on, obviously, to not have these drips, but this one looks pretty nice. And that's that taller, I call it sort of a more birthday excuse me, cake sculpture. This one was with the thicker foam and that plastic. I call it the frosting glaze, and that just obliterated it. Here it is with the that white sandy glaze and what I call the frosting glaze, which is sort of like that plasticky look. Now, what I really, really liked about this combination was how this white glaze, that sandy glaze, kind of really reacted to the plastic glaze. It really kind of gave me this like fractured, shattered look. You can see it kind of like shattered off at certain points almost. And it really like peeled away from it, so you could really see sort of like that plastic glaze coming through. I think this is the winner. I love this. Here it is with the little polymer clay guys coming out of that. I could try to, it's hard to get a magenta in a glaze. There really isn't one in Mason stains. I even looked up breast. I can't really find a magenta. So this is sort of my attempt at a magenta. I can maybe try it with like some deeper reds or something, but I do have a lot of, pretty much all of the reds and pink Mason stains that there are available. So if you know of any suggestions to get more of a magenta-y color, but I am super, super excited the way this one turned out, and I think this is the winner for sure. I can always, you know, this one I can change colors. Any one of these I can change the colors with Mason stains. It's this dry one that won't take any yellowish color very well, but anyways, really excited. And then as far as the other taller tubular sculptures, I tried a lot of different combinations. Once again, this foamy one, this was fired horizontally. So what happened here was it ate a stilt. I pulled it out, and then so I don't like when it's thick like that. And then this is that plastic glaze. I kind of try to put it on really thick and gloppy. So that's not bad. I'll show it to you in a smaller version where it worked better, which I think might be the winning combination. So here it is. This was fired horizontally because this one can stand on its own. This is, I could put it on thinner. This is that gloopy glaze, that foamy glaze. And then this is that my bright gloss glaze. It's almost like this darkish red. And then here are one of the spikes. So these would all be hung, you know, so they're standing out more horizontally, but all against the wall. I do like the combination to see this glaze against this, but I'm sort of wondering if, you know, then I'd lose all of that definition, you know, of time and everything. Here is just one that's still in greenware phase. I lose all of that time of definition of making all these shapes if I really lose sort of like that mouth area or not. But I do really kind of like it. I like this whole thing, how it looks in combination with the color of the wool. I think is really good. Here is some other combinations. This is the bright gloss red, then with that dry pink, that dry sandy glaze that I colorized into like a pink color. I just don't think it's, you know, like enough contrast. Here is one in the dry sandy glaze. So this could always be reversed, like with the dry sandy glaze. I don't think I did one with the around the mouth. I should have done that one. With that coming out. Now, obviously, this is way too big for these spikes. Most of the holes will be smaller and fit the spikes better. But that's okay. I showed you all of these. Here's one in which that very foamy glaze went on vertically, and it really stayed in place. I didn't put a stilt under it. I just put it right onto my kiln shelf, and it stayed there. I think I probably left it a little bit more up. This is with that plasticky glaze that I kind of call the frosting glaze. So there's a possibility there, like that. Then I did one more combination. I have this guy. He was also fired horizontally with a foamy glaze, and there he goes. He loves to eat stilts. So kind of cool, just like that. I don't know. I like possibly this combination. You know, I do think it needs to be the lighter color on top, whether it be this foamy glaze, or you know, we could do like this, like white sandy glaze too on top, and you know, but I think for the contrast with the spike, it should be the lighter color on top. So that was the results of my glaze test. I thought you would like to see that. Thanks.